let me follow up on Judge Miller's question. Let's assume that there was a lawful call-up. Do the call-ups have to have a temporal limit?
Well, good morning, all of you out there who still care about freedom and independence and individual liberties. I have to report that I got up this morning and found myself facing the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal disaster. I mean disaster, because yesterday the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals astonishingly rejected an application for an en banc rehearing of a three-judge panel decision to stay the TRO, or preliminary injunction, issued by District Judge Charles Breyer in the case of Newsom versus Trump, which I have reported on. And that order prevented Trump from deploying troops on the ground in California other than to guard federal buildings. This is yet another crushing, and I must admit, unexpected blow from a circuit that I always thought was forward-thinking and liberated. This is a crushing blow to the rule of law and to our Constitution. If any case in U.S. history is deserving of an en banc rehearing, this surely is the one that must have such judicial action taken, because nothing, I repeat, nothing, in our foundational history and case law is of greater importance than the clear universal opposition to the use of federal troops in civilian law enforcement, troops deployed against the wishes of our people and state governments under the principles and doctrines of federalism. This denial of an en banc rehearing is nothing less than cowardly, legally unjustifiable, and yet another nail in the coffin for American democracy, and its implications are far-reaching within our social contract and within the foundational principles of our republic. Even Adolf Hitler avoided deploying troops in the streets of Germany and its provinces when he ascended to power in 1933. But in modern America, a nation with a 250-year-old tradition of rules, the rule of law, principles, and a democratic system of government of co-equal branches with separation of powers, with a sound constitution, we now live inside of a garbage bin without hope of redemption. To violate the Posse Comitatus Act with impunity and have this Nazi Trump government regime, a regime hallmarked by Nazis, fascists, racists, white supremacists, evangelicals, kleptocrats, anti-Semites, have them get military and federalized National Guard troops into the streets of our cities is much more than performative. It is demonstrably an act of intimidation and physical control in keeping with the worst aspects of a totalitarian and military dictatorship, and it is a preparation for further monstrous acts to decimate what remains of our once freedom-loving people who fought once upon a time a revolution against the tyranny of a king's rule in favor of a society dedicated to individual liberties. This is appalling. This situation leads me to believe that there's no hope from the Supreme Court who'll follow this kind of pattern. And the Seventh Circuit might come up with an en banc hearing in their case, but it's all over but the shouting here. The levers of control are completely in the hands of Trump and his minions. Thanks for watching. Signing off.